If you don't want to ever be broke, increase your offering more than your tithe. Since tithe is 10%, your offering should be 20% or more. Don't wait until the end of the month to give your tithe. Pay as the money enters. You can do transfer. Pastor David Ibiyeomie. Ibiyeomie. Pastor David Ibiyeomie. This is what the guy looks like. Look at his face. So what do you guys think? I obviously have my own reaction to this. You see, this relationship between these pastorpreneurs, when you add the word pastor to entrepreneur, it becomes pastorpreneur. These pastorpreneurs have should I call it a symbiotic relationship with their victims, or should I call it a parasitic? Actually, it's parasitic, but it's also symbiotic to an extent. It's parasitic, obviously, because these guys are parasites. These pastorpreneurs, they are straight up parasites on their hosts. Their hosts are their victims, their congregation members that pay money to them and make them rich, right? But it's also symbiotic. When I say symbiotic, I mean it's beneficial for both sides because the hosts, the victims, most of them are greedy, and it's their greed that fuels their beliefs in these pastorpreneurs. Because there is no way you are a logical person and you would listen to such a message from a charlatan that you have to pay your money in order for you to get rich. Basically, it's a deal. These guys are trying to sign a deal between themselves and their pastors that if I pay you more money, then God will bless me. So it's a financial transaction. It's pretty much a transactional relationship regarding money. It's all about money. The greed of their followers is what makes them, the followers, fight us for calling out these pastorpreneurs. Because don't get it twisted. These pastorpreneurs, they have millions of followers that donate money to them and make them rich, while the donors are mostly poor for the most part, right? But these guys will fight us for calling them out. And the reason why all these pastorpreneurship businesses thrive in a country like Nigeria is because the country has failed. It's a failed society where even the president comes out and tells the people that only God can effectively secure the borders of this country. Imagine this: the chief of naval staff, rather, the chief of army staff, comes out and tells the people that Nigeria needs a spiritual solution, not just military approach or economic political approach to solving the terrorism, insecurity, banditry. Nigeria needs a spiritual approach. These are the types of words that come out of the mouths of the people in charge of a so called country. If the president is telling you that only God can effectively secure the borders of this country, and the chief of army staff is telling you that this country needs a spiritual solution, then you already know what time it is. It's a failed society. And that's why pastorpreneurship business thrives. A pastorpreneur only needs to be in a society where people have been brainwashed not to think for themselves, but to rely and depend on other people to solve their problems. So these guys can thrive. I mean, look at his eyes. Look at this guy's eyes. Does it not look like an ogbologbo? You know what an ogbologbo is? I'm talking about a thief, like a solid, ogbologbo in my language. It means a a top-notch criminal. That's what this guy looks like. Look at his eyes, dog. If this man is telling you straight up, they're not even hiding it anymore. If you don't want to ever be broke, increase your offering more than your tithe. Since tithe is 10%, your offering should be 20% or more. Don't wait until the end of the month to pay your tithe. Pay as the money enters. Do transfer so that I can remain rich. I can, keep on living my life of opulence while you guys remain poverty stricken. But it's going to work because, like I said, they have a lot of supporters that will fight us, fight people like me for calling them out for what they are. So it's an uphill battle. Just one sec.
Answer the tithe, I still give offering. I won't tell you. Channels of giving. Channels of what? A. Pay correct tithe. Pay correct tithe. Tithe is the foundation of your covenant of prosperity. Don't wait until month end before you pay your tithe. As the money comes, pay it. Don't every time you get money, pay 10% back to God. Are you hearing me now? Don't say at the end of the month. Every time you get money, remove the 10% and what? Pay. As a lifestyle. Don't say until the end of the month. Pay your tithe as the money comes. We are in a modern society.
Now, that is one. Let me show you one other thing about this same guy. He's supposed to be a pastor, which means he's supposed to act like Jesus. Tell me, would Jesus threaten people in this society back in the days with the police that I'm gonna arrest you if you make videos and criticize me online? If you make such videos, I am going to use the police to arrest you. And if people say, oh, this pastor is going too far, know that you brought it upon yourself. Do you think that is Christ-like? Because that's literally what this guy said. He came out on the pulpit one time. Recently, I can't even find a video right now. And he was threatening someone that made a video criticizing his antics online. He's pretty much trying to use the instruments of the corrupt state, because we all know Nigeria is absolutely corrupt. And the same thing that the politicians do, they would use the instruments of the state, like the police, the soldiers, that are supposed to protect the people. But no, they actually protect the politicians and the pastors and the other VIPs from the people. They would use those people they will use the police and the soldiers to arrest people that criticize them online. Then when real criminals are operating in freedom, posting their videos, I'm talking about terrorists kidnapping people and stuff like that, post their videos on TikTok, on Twitter, nobody comes for them. So the pastors are becoming as emboldened as the politicians. There is no difference. They work hand in hand. But the good thing is, a lot of people are beginning to be emboldened as well. More people are speaking up against their activities because the revolution is coming from different angles. People are revolting against the political system. Some are revolting against the religious system, and many are revolting against the traditional cultural system, because all these things work hand in hand to keep us perpetually confused people perpetually. I mean, we're not going to pretend like we don't know that Nigeria is one of the most confused countries of the world today. But check this out.
Come. I want to be very practical. I like teaching about him because there's a way I don't understand him. This is what? What is this? This speaker. Is there life here? Is there life here? Holy Ghost, to prove that you are the one I'm talking about, touch this speaker with life. Come and touch this speaker, you'll fall. Touch this speaker. Come, touch this speaker. And you know what? Is anybody who is here? You're here? Come and touch this speaker. Touch it.
So these charlatans, these fake pastors, pastorpreneurs, they have collaborators amongst their victims, like these clowns that are acting that if they touch the speaker, they would collapse. I know it sounds funny. We just laugh about these stuffs. It's been going on for decades in Africa. Yes, it makes us look fucking foolish. Okay, people don't take us seriously because, I mean, how do you, come on, man, use common sense sometimes. But their collaborators are among their victims. So it's going to be very difficult to erase this problem from our societies because the people that are the victims of these charlatans will defend them, will act for them, will project their lies to the rest of the world. Look, these guys are acting along. They are pretending like there's something in the speaker. And I know people are going to come across this video and they're going to be like, but do you know the Holy Spirit, the Spirit, they're going to say stupid shit like that. Nobody is telling you not to believe in a religious, you believe in your religion, your spirituality, but don't bring foolishness to us because that foolishness makes our entire society a mess. And we understand that these guys are just symptoms of a failed society, the charlatans and their victims. They are both symptoms of a failed society. And that's what we are trying to address. Finally, I was talking about Ibiyeomie, this same charlatan, threatening people not to talk about him because people are criticizing him online, people like myself, obviously. And me, it's not about Ibiyeomie. Ibiyeomie is even one of the small dogs. They are bigger dogs. Bro, you've heard about the RCCG, Living Faith. There are some mega pastorpreneurial businesses thriving in Nigeria. Listen, out of the top 5 exports, this was in 2022, Nigeria's top 5 exports to South Africa were all churches. RCCG, Living Faith, Christ Embassy, all churches. The top 5 exports of South Africa to Nigeria were top in corporations. MTN, ShopRite. I'm talking about corporations that provide jobs. But the exports of Nigeria to South Africa is church businesses, pastorpreneurial charlatan businesses that only generate revenue from their victims and collaborators through donations. If these are not the symptoms of a failed society, then I don't know what else is. Because if you walk around an average city in the southwestern or any Christian dominated area in Nigeria, you would find 10 churches per street. Every street has 10 churches. 99% of the streets are not paved. There is no pavement, there is no sidewalks, no boulevard, no trees planted, nothing. But they have 10 churches. An average Nigerian youth, after graduating from university, obviously there are no jobs, there is no industries because that's how the system is. The next career path, if you're unsuccessful in becoming a political PA, personal assistant, is you want to become a pastor. How come everybody is a pastor in the country? It shows you that these are the symptoms of a failed state. But finally, let me show you one of the young revolutionaries that has been keeping her foot on the necks of these pastorpreneurs. Grace. Love Grace. This young lady, Grace, bold. She came out during the 30-day rant challenge, and she's been on fire ever since. She decided to focus on the pastorpreneurial industry and how it contributes to the destruction of the society. Here she's challenging the clown, the fake prophet, and popular charlatan David Ibiyeomie that said people shouldn't talk about him. So she decided to talk about him. Let's react to the video together.
Nigeria. They are already Ibiyeomie said we should not talk about him again. So let's talk about him. Fake Pastor Ibiyeomie, David Ibiyeomie. I don't blame you. I blame fake Pastor David Oyedepo because you people have gotten away with lying on Jesus Christ. You know, the Jesus Christ that brought the Christianity, or at least Jesus Christ that the Christianity is centric about. You people have lied on this man because of money. Even Adam and Eve, Oyedepo and Ibiyeomie have liars from the pit of hell, fake pastors. They've lied on Ibiyeomie and David Oyedepo. Oh, it's not because of eating the fruits that Adam and Eve was chased away from the Garden of Eden. Those two men will tell you that is because Adam touched his tithes. That's why God chased Adam and Eve away from the Garden of Eden. Same Ibiyeomie that said Jesus Christ hated the poor. Jesus Christ never dined with the poor. Jesus Christ never visited the poor. Lying on Jesus Christ because of money, Nigerian mentality. You people have taken Nigerian money-loving mentality into religion called Christianity. And your members too, because of the love of money, that's why they like going to your type of churches. They want to be rich like their pastor, not knowing that it's you that is making your pastors rich. Anyways, he said we should not talk about him again, so let's talk about him.
But how don't they know that they are the ones making their pastors rich? It's mind-boggling. If you're the ones donating money to your pastor and your pastor becomes a billionaire, it's because you donated money to him. And then the money that you donated to your pastor, he uses it to establish businesses that you can't even patronize because you're too poor. They open up universities, open up shopping complexes, buy private jets, open up rental businesses, hotels. And then you that you've been contributing money to the pastors for the last 30 years, now you're in your 60s, you've retired. Because you're in a corrupt system, you can't even get access to your pension or your gratuity. Now you're poverty stricken in your 60s because you donated money to a pastor for 30 years. Whenever you had a first fruit, let's donate first fruit to this pastor. Oh, hey, let me donate my car. I have this car, let me donate this car to this pastor because our pastor told us that we have to donate to the church. Donate our car. What does your pastor need your old car for? But it's greed. It's a transactional exchange. You're only making all those donations because you want to escape poverty. And that's what it is. You're simply trying to escape from poverty. You decided not to be logical and to listen to a charlatan. The charlatan told you that God will give you money and make you escape from poverty if you donate money to the charlatan. Because if you donate money to the charlatan, you're donating money to God. And that's the trick, the mind game that worked on all these people. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Pastor Kennedy Okupo, a pastor in David Ibiyeomie's church, died while undergoing liposuction. As in, he went under the knife for liposuction and NEPA took the lights. The doctors could not get the gen on time. So Ibiyeomie's pastor died under a liposuction table. Now, why is Kennedy Okupo important? Because this same man, God rest his soul, before he died, investigative journalist Kemi Olunloyo wrote an article about how a car donated to the church for church
What did I
runnings.
say?
You know, they got to bring people from different places to come to the church so that every Sunday they are the ones that have more members every Sunday, right?
Let me ask a quick question. A pastor that has millions of dollars, access to millions of dollars, and he has access to Lamborghinis, expensive vehicles, very, very expensive cars. These guys are traveling around first class around the world. Why does such a pastor require you, a poor man, to donate your used 2005 vehicle to the church? Make it make sense.
So a member donated church to the car to the church, but the car ended up in Iyabojo's hands, at least according to investigative journalist Kemi. Now, when Kemi broke the story, it's not, it's a lie. David Ibiyeomie did not give said actress a car meant for church. No, they arrested her. She spent 6 months, and this same Kennedy Okoho was the one that pioneered the whole. So these men have so many skeletons that Nigerians have forgotten about, that if we compress all of them together, even to the most dumbest and most gullible members, they should be able to know that, oh, more, it's like this man a fake pastor to show. But because Nigerians forget things a lot, all these small, small stories here and there,
And it's true because Nigerians are overwhelmed with negative news every single day. Listen, man, if you ever open up a YouTube channel and you decide to start talking about Nigeria, you're never going to run out of content because Nigeria is a gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving. It keeps on giving negative news daily, non-stop. So the people are overwhelmed. I mean, if you heard on Monday, 50 people were killed in Benue, Fulani terrorists. On Tuesday, 25 people were kidnapped on Benin or Expressway. On Wednesday, bandits kidnapped 21 people in a village in Zamfara. On Thursday, it's in Plateau State, 60 people beheaded, 40 farmers killed. Bro, at some point, you become, what's the word? You lack sensitivity to such news. Because if that's what you hear every single day and it's true stories, then it affects your mental health. And that's what majority of Nigerians are going through. The Nigerians that have access to the media, to information. Because don't get it twisted, majority of the victims of Nigeria don't even have access to that. They are basically preoccupied with trying to survive on a daily basis.
I've forgotten about it. So Ibiyeomie, you cannot tell us that we cannot talk about you again, because if people like me decide to just keep quiet and just face whatever pays us, leave your gullible members because of the backlash we faced, right? If we decide to just keep quiet and go about our day, don't insult our intelligence by saying we cannot talk about you, you're going to arrest us. Arrest us, because why? You will arrest Taya. I'm not even saying the half of it.
People are sick and tired of all these pastorpreneurs. People are sick and tired of the wicked system. People are tired of all the threats. At this point, they are like, listen, man, if you want to arrest and kill us, you might as well just do it. You want to arrest us, you want to threaten us with your corrupt police and your soldiers, go ahead. Go ahead and arrest us because we don't give a shit anymore. And when we have a massive, honestly, we only need like 1% of just 1% of the population. They claim that Nigeria's population is 220 million people, which is a lie because the last credible population census was held in 1992. 33 years ago was when the last credible population census was held in Nigeria. So for that reason, nobody knows the number of people in Nigeria. There is no way you can know. It's all estimates. So these days, they claim it's 220 million. Some will tell you it's 250. Some are even lying that it's 300 million, but nobody knows what the real numbers are. But let's pretend like it's 200 million. If 1% of that population, so that's about 200,000 people or 2 million. 2 million, if just 1% of Nigerians get to this level of frustration where this young lady is, trust me, it's going to be a problem for the evil, demonic politicians, their pastorpreneur friends, the fake imams, and all the forces, the principalities and powers that have held the contraption, kept it at the bottom. It's going to be a problem for them. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Click on the like button, subscribe if you like this type of content. Peace.